Awesome. So you're 15 years old. That was one of the things coming into this race. 15 years old from Michigan, a pretty accomplished late model driver at such a young age. What does like a day in the life look like for you? Obviously, I read on your website you play varsity volleyball, basketball, run track, drive race cars on the weekends. What does a day look like for you when you're not at the racetrack?
It's pretty crazy, usually even when I'm not racing. I'm almost always catching up with schoolwork. So going to school, right now I'm going to school. In a couple weeks, I probably will switch to online. But going to school and then usually I have varsity practice after school and everything. But I miss a lot for racing, so sometimes it's depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah, I travel a lot for racing, different like NASCAR events and stuff. So fall part of the school year was always really rough for me because it's at least down here we got Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, all in a circle, and they're all like around similar times. So I can only imagine what you have to do. You gotta drive the race cars, and I'm just going to these races. So, like I said, you're an accomplished late model driver at Hickory Motor Speedway. In a 2 week span, you became the youngest limited late model uh, and late model stock car race winner at Hickory. What does it mean to have so much success at such a young age racing late models?
It was really cool. That first win in limited late model, that was a huge accomplishment in my career. It was the Bobby Isaac Memorial, and Bobby Isaac's number was 71, which is the same number I am. So that was pretty cool. And then my whole family was down there too. They only go a couple times, so I'm glad that they were there for that. My best friend was there too, so that was really cool. And then to go back the following weekend and win in late model stock, that was a huge thing that really got my name out there to start, I think, down at Hickory, and then to come back the beginning of the season, win four more races and like Mostock. That was really cool.
Yeah, so you race cars pro late model, you've dabbled in Carolina pro late models, stuff like that. So you're racing a lot of different stuff, but you're from Michigan. How did you get into racing? What brought you into racing from up there?
So my grandpa raced and my dad raced. My grandpa raced mostly sprint cars and midgets, more open wheel stuff, and my dad raced a little bit of everything. So they both got started in quarter midgets. So when I turned 5, I started racing quarter midgets, and then I actually switched to open wheel stuff when I was about 10. I ran dirt micros for 2 years, and then I got back into late models because I really want to get to Cup NASCAR. So we switched back into late models pavement and just started moving up.
So you mentioned you want to race Cup. Is that like the ultimate goal? Like if you could race any premier series in the world, like is it the NASCAR Cup Series?
Yeah, I really, ever since I started racing, I've wanted to win a NASCAR Cup championship. So that's what I've been working hard for. That's what I bust my butt for. So I really hope I can accomplish that.
Yeah, and that 15 years old, obviously a girl in the sport. We've seen a lot of girls come up through the sport. Haley Deegan, Natalie Decker, just to name a few. You got Brittany Zamora, Gracie Trotter, all them, and you're one of the up and coming names. What does it mean for a girl at like your young age to be so successful in the sport? Like, is that exciting to look up to?
Yeah, I think it's really cool because we have a decent amount of females in the sport, but I think really we need to show results as females. And I think that's one thing that I struggle with, I guess, is I show the results, but I'm still a female, so I'm still trying to work my way up. And being in a male dominated sport, sometimes it's hard. But I've raced against Gracie Trotter and Tony Breidinger. So those are some females that are up there that I've raced against, and they're really cool. They're cool to talk to and everything.
Yeah, so this race is obviously the most prestigious race in all of late model racing. They're Martinsville 300. It's a huge deal, but what are your emotions like going into like such a race?
I'm pretty nervous. It's a huge race, and especially having to make the race. I think that's gonna be a big deal. So that's really my overall goal is to just be able to make the race, and then a top 10 would be awesome. But there are gonna be a lot of good drivers there, so I think it all depends how I do in the heat races.
Yeah, heat races were a big part of it last year. I saw a bunch of like big names getting taken out of it, and a lot of surprises last year. So it'd be awesome to see you sneak through and make your way into the race. But you've been to 12 different racetracks so far this year, with still a lot more left on your plate to go back to. What track are you using to kind of like help you prepare, and what's kind of the closest to Martinsville?
I've never really ran on a track like Martinsville. Martinsville's it's pretty flat and it's a decent sized track. So, um, really just iRacing. I've been doing a lot of that. I don't think there's really any actual like racetracks I've raced at this year that will help me, but just doing a lot of preparation, watching videos, talking to drivers, and like I said, doing sim training.
Yeah, you mentioned at the beginning, this sport is very family dominated, and your granddad was in it, your dad was in it, now you're in it. Who was kind of like your biggest role model growing up and climbing the ranks in the sport?
I'd say probably my dad and my grandpa. They both were pretty good race car drivers. Everyone says I'm better than they are now, but they've supported me. It's always been our dream that we've wanted to do together. I always remember watching NASCAR races with my grandpa on Sundays and everything. So I really hope I can make it up there because everyone sacrificed so much for me. So um, I want to return it to them.
Yeah, besides your dad and your granddad, is there any driver up there now, or one that's kind of like from the past that you look up to and kind of like try to be like?
I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody would say Dale Jr. because he was a good driver. But right now, like racing in the series, Kyle Larson. I've always been a Kyle Larson fan. Probably because he went back to dirt, and I'm a big dirt fan. But I've always wanted to drive like him. You know, he's Team Chevy and everything, so he's always been a big inspiration.
Yeah, you see I'm a Chevy fan. I have the flag right behind me. I'm a big Hendrick Motorsports fan and been that way. And uh, back when I was trying to race and I guess go up there, I was had a like full Dale Jr. painted go kart with like his amp energy scheme and all that. Like I was ready, and unfortunately couldn't make it work. But last question, you have any track that you can go to on the cup schedule right now and you get to win a race at? Like you know you're gonna go in there and win it. If you could win at any track or any race, what would it be?
I mean, there's a lot of really good tracks, but I don't know. Bristol, I've just always loved the track Bristol. I named my dog Bristol because I just love that track. I think it's really cool. And now that they like put dirt on it and everything, I would love to race there.
Oh, so you're for the dirt on the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm a big dirt fan. I love dirt racing. But I think it's cool that they incorporate it with NASCAR.
I think it's cool, but that might be where we disagree a little bit. But I definitely like the dirt event. But I appreciate you taking the time to talk about it, and best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.